How's it going? Let me check, make sure we're recording. Yep, we're recording now, so we're good to go. Let's talk about it. Google Cloud Platform. It's no different from the other platforms. Well, it is. There are some differences. There's some advantages and disadvantages. We'll talk about the advantages. Of course, like many, it has auto scalability. That's a big deal. It does offer security features, just as Azure does, just as AWS does. It offers all of those things that the cloud offerings have when they host. To get to those, it's on the left side, the same as it is with the other hosts, along with a myriad and a host of other things that you can use. In other places, you add those to your platform. Here is going to be a lot of enable this, enable that in Google Cloud. So just remember that. You have the AI platform and features. It has with their version of security and threat protection in it, which is not too bad at all. It's not too bad. It does similar things. I'll go to it and show you. So it has threat detection. It has a security command center. I haven't put in any organization yet. I'm just showing you what's available to you. Data loss, secret manager, just like Azure has secret manager. It has cryptographic keys, and it will manage those for you too. Again, it's just like all the other ones. It has good offerings, but one of the special offerings that I enjoy, that I really am impressed by, is live migration. So to explain that, no other cloud platform that I'm aware of, if I'm not mistaken, offers live migration of virtual machines. Having live migration, the ability to live migrate virtual machines, gives you pretty much always up, like almost 100% uptime, because when you're troubleshooting and patching and you can migrate live, there's zero downtime. So that is a huge advantage for people who maintain and fix servers. It's just a big advantage to have that. And if you combine that with the auto scalability, the reliability of a Google Cloud Platform, it's up there with the best of them. Combine that with the fact that they're running on global fiber, and you get some pretty good bang for your buck. It's actually cheaper than AWS and Azure, but AWS and Azure kind of integrate Office a little bit better, if you ask me, and the world just about runs on Microsoft Office programs. So such is life. What we're going to do today is Linux related, not Microsoft related. So I'm in my GCP Linux project, and we're going to walk through the steps of spinning up a virtual machine. You have to go to Compute Engine. That's where your instances are going to be held. In Compute Engine, you're going to see all of the instances that you already have available to you. And you're going to see options at the top like this. Create instance. There's an info panel on the side to bring up additional information. What permissions are there? What labels are there? Let me go ahead and select a server so you can kind of see the permissions. So we're going to do the second server that I created most recently. So you'll start to see who has access to it, and then you'll be able to add members, etc., etc. Monitoring. You can see it in other places, but this is a quick way to see it when you're in your instances. See how this one's running, how long it's been up, etc. So we'll go ahead and hide that info panel. To create an instance, you simply click Create Instance. It's going to get you to the next screen that walks you through the wizard of naming your instance, selecting the region. One of the things all cloud people should know, remember, is select your region based on what you already have. So for disaster recovery purposes, you don't necessarily want your app or website to only, or your backup to be available in the same place as your primary. Because if there's a natural disaster, for example, a few days ago, Puerto Rico had a multitude of earthquakes. If your primary and your backup are both hosted in Puerto Rico, then there goes your uptime, because they're both down now. So you may want to host in, let's say, Iowa, one, and then host another in somewhere in Europe. Because the chances of, hopefully, there aren't natural disasters occurring in both places at the same time. Next, You see your general purpose. These are your CPUs. You choose an E2, N2, or an N1. It's going to show you the machine type. Now you have way more choices when it comes to machine type. We're going to stick with the standard one. We're not going to use the high CPU one. We're going to stick with what we got here. Here is where you can deploy a container image. We're not going to do that. It has nothing to do with what we're trying to do. We can change this to whatever type of Linux version we want. Right now, the other server that we have that we're going to use to show you how everything is a Ubuntu 19.04. Of course, you can choose a multitude of application images, Windows, Enterprise, Windows Enterprise, SQL. You can see all of these. Or if you have your own custom image, which a lot of us Linux guys like to do, you can spin it up. You can also spin it up from a snapshot that you created. So let's go back here. And I'll show you one more option that really is important to me. You can change this size to 20, 25. We're going to stick with 10 gig. It'll be fine. Keep in mind, the bigger stuff is, the more resources you use, the more they charge you. We usually choose SSD, but you can choose a standard. Keep in mind, the SSD, resource-wise, is going to cost you a little bit more over time than the standard. That's just life. So after we select and we go through, you're going to see it's creating. You'll see it spinning. And it's going to take you back to the compute screen. That's where it would have taken you. And once done, you would have saw a green check showing you that your server has been created. Once your server is created, like for example, we've created this one. There are multiple ways you can connect. You can, of course, go get PuTTY or any other outside program used to SSH into your Linux server. That, to me, is an extra step that I'm not necessarily a huge fan of. And I want to show you the advantage of doing what we can do right here in Google Cloud Platform, which is open this up in a browser window and connect very quickly to our Linux server. Let me show you two ways to connect. This is one way. Both for SSH. They're just through a different little path here from the GUI. This one has been spotty this morning. Sometimes it connects quickly, sometimes it doesn't connect at all. They say you can improve how fast it transfer keys by migrating to an OS login. We haven't done so yet. We haven't had the need to. So now you're in your Linux server, and you can proceed to do the things that you normally do in Linux. Check out your server. Let's see. I've allowed HTTP. There's two boxes if we go back where it says allow HTTP and HTTPS. I allow them both. So let's see if we can ping our other server, the one in Iowa, from this server that is being hosted in where we're at, South America. And we're getting the immediate replies back as we should. Voila. So these two servers are successfully talking to each other. So now you see how to connect in browser without having to go get PuTTY or anything. You can connect in browser. You gotta love that. How simple is that? That's one way to do it. Another way, the same section. Instead of choosing open it up in the browser window, we are going to use the gcloud command. This is similar to, like, let's say PowerShell. You know what I'm saying? We're basically going to use Cloud Shell. Select run in Cloud Shell. It's going to take some time for Cloud Shell to come up. And we're going to exercise a little bit of patience here. Now it's connecting. We're going to open it up in a new window, matter of factly.